The one Pennsylvania congressman who did not break ranks is Dan Meuser from Pennsylvania. He joins us now. Serves on the House Financial Services Committee as well as the House Small Business Committee. Congressman, thank you for joining us. Obviously a lot to unpack and to really explain in terms of what happened and the discharge petition, the subsidies, et cetera. But can I get your thoughts there? When we saw the four Republican lawmakers voted on the side of Democrats on this discharge petition, what were your thoughts and maybe why that decision was made?
Great to be with you, Sean. So what occurred yesterday, we did pass the lower premiums for all Americans bills, and all Republicans, including the four you mentioned, voted for this bill, which will, as you stated, lower by approximately 11% across the board. But what it also does is it roots out waste and fraud. It delivers AHPs. It's got many choice drivers within it. It lowers costs through lowering costs, as opposed to subsidizing failure, which the Affordable Care Act or the Unaffordable Care Act, unfortunately, was all about. You know, it's amazing to me, too, you got to retrace this, that the criticism is against the bill that they created, and then they doubled down over COVID on a so-called temporary basis, and this bill eliminates those so-called temporary subsidies, which, of course, they wanted to last forever. But the four, look, I don't know exactly what their plan was or their thinking, but the way I see it is they felt that the 3-year extension bill would give them time to fix it rather than the subsidies end December 31st. I don't think in their head they're thinking, no, this is going to go on for 3 years, because clearly America needs a better plan. But this would, by it ending on the subsidies ending on the 31st, it's a shock, they felt, to many of their constituents, where that really couldn't have been bare, and it would be better off voting for this, extending it, which, by the way, it failed in the Senate once before, and having time over the next year to put in the corrective measures. Yeah. I believe in our bill. See, I have faith in the first bill, cutting costs, let's not subsidize failure. But they sort of looked at it as an insurance policy for a portion of their constituencies. Sure. That's my thoughts on it.
You know, but just the optics alone, you know, because it does get a little bit in the weeds. What it looks like are these four Republicans are for government subsidies for Obamacare. End of story. You have to kind of dig into, well, they wanted the time so they can look at the reform. But on the surface, it looks like they're on the opposite end of where Republicans stand. Yeah. Go ahead.
And it is all coming very sudden, right? So there is that. But and that I'm not a big fan of it happening so suddenly either. But again, I believe in our bill. We implement it. We execute it. Premiums will come down.
Congressman Mike Lawler, one of the four who broke ranks by voting for the discharge petition, he called out both Speaker Mike Johnson and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries for failed negotiations thus far. Watch this.
Final product will have to be a compromise, and that's been my point from the start. Do the work. Right. Do the bipartisan compromise. And frankly, Dana, this is important. Yeah. Both leaders have failed here because we don't have a bill on the floor, and Hakeem Jeffries is sticking with his 3 years or bust with no reforms.
But so where's the middle ground, I guess, is my question. Does that exist? He calls Johnson a failure. Do you side with Lawler on that?
No, Mike Johnson always has an open door. Mike is an outstanding speaker, and I don't say that lightly. Over the last couple of years, he continues to prove himself. Hakeem Jeffries, on the other hand, has no negotiating in him whatsoever, no compromise. His only focus is what's best politically, not what's best policy for the American people. He proves that time and time again, and he states falsehoods, and all he wants to do is extend the failed Obamacare for the next 3 years. That would be great for them. As a matter of fact, I don't even think he wants that. I think he wants to continue the issue, just to blame Republicans for higher premiums, so somehow that helps them in the elections next year.